Hey everybody, this is Jeff Veale, the business guru, coming to you from downtown Manila, late in the evening, and talking to someone on the other side of the world, in the United States. We've got a wonderful lady here today with a great mission where she can help most of you people, and her name is Candy Mesa. And Candy's role is a probability advisor and fractional COO. And her name, Affordable Bookkeeping and Payroll Services. And you all need good bookkeeping, and you need to look after your payroll. So reach out to this lady. Have a virtual, cost you nothing to have a virtual cup of coffee and find out what she can do for you and your business. Why try and do it all yourself, right? Do what you're good at. She's done this for a mere 23 years, so she knows a little bit about it. And the industry, of course, is bookkeeping, payroll, and operational efficiency. Brief description. A, B, and P provides reliable bookkeeping and payroll support paired with advisory guidance and operational systems. It's all about the systems, guys. And that gives owners clarity, confidence, and control, resulting in peace of mind and the freedom to do what they love. And that's the important part, guys. Think of McDonald's. You go anywhere in the world, it's the same hamburger anywhere. They've got a system being run by 15-year-olds that the mother can't get to clean their bedroom. But the mother hasn't got a system, but McDonald's do. That's the difference. Right? Systems are important. Key achievements: co-author of the Business Success with Ease, Navigating Entrepreneurship, maintain a solid mental health, and yes, God host of the podcast Biz Help for You. This is probably more than I want, but no, we want it all. Candy was named Woman of the Year. How about that? What an achievement. For 2009-2010. By the Peninsula chapter of the American Businesswomen's Association. And she didn't stop there. She went on to 2011, Entrepreneur Mum of the Year by today's Innovation Women's Magazine. Let's get on going. In 2012, the 𝐂𝐚𝐬𝐬𝐞 College Foundation honored her as a distinguished alumni of the year. Affordable Bookkeeping and Payroll was named 2016 Small Business of the Year. Wow, there's some achievements here by the Tolerance Chamber, and Intu's creator of QuickBooks software, 2016, the firm of the future. Interesting fact, excuse me, a bad cold, guys. I love chocolate. Me too. I love chocolate and mint, and become an avid sourdough baker. And I won another award. I won first place last year at the fair for the chocolate chip sourdough scones. That's an amazing achievement, right? See, this woman doesn't stop at the start. She keeps on going. It's my great pleasure to welcome to the stage Candy. How are you, Candy? Good?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for inviting me to be here today.
No, my great pleasure. Tell us about your journey and what inspired you all those years ago to follow your career path. What happened?
I actually never intended to be a business owner. I was working as a full charge bookkeeper for a publishing company, and someone knew what I did, which basically was from start to finish, anything in the financial arena. So invoicing customers, receiving payments, reconciling, following up on past due balances, all of that. And her husband had a business and had her doing the bookkeeping. And she said, I hate doing the reconciling. I'll invoice the customers and I'll pay the bills, but I don't want to reconcile the books. Will you please help? And I wasn't sure I wanted to go that route, but she begged me for months. And I finally said yes. But then I had to buy the software, and I had to get the business license, and I had to have a home operating permit, and I had to have all these things. So it was going to cost me more to provide the service to her than I was going to earn really from doing the bookkeeping for her. So then I was thinking, well, I need a few more clients to make it worth it. So I had a few clients, what I say, on the side of my real job, at first. And then after about a year and a half of helping those customers while still working, my husband finally said, quit your job and just do your business. People like what you do, and you'll just be so much happier, and that was a little scary thing to give up that guaranteed paycheck. But he convinced me. And so here we are all these years later. And, we help the small business owner with, I say generally things they have to do in their business, but they often don't want to.
Yeah, that's right. It's all about the systems. I'm guilty. I know all about that. I'm like the motor mechanic with the rusty old car that comes out and makes your Ferrari go quicker. I'm too busy fixing other people's problems. What's been the most challenging aspect of your work, and how have you overcome that over the years?
I had to learn a few things in my own business because number one, I really like harmony, and I was sometimes taken advantage of by some of the customers or even employees sometimes. And so I finally had to learn to set some boundaries and say, this is how we have to do things. I'm sorry, if things, this is not what you wanted, but, things have to be a little more systematized too. So we're doing the same thing for everyone and not just like, we'll bill you on this date and we'll bill at this point and, all of those things. So part of it was really just creating my own boundaries to say, my time is also valuable. If you wait till the last minute and then you reach out to me on, an hour before something is due, I don't necessarily have to drop everything to help you to make sure you get everything done on time. And that wasn't easy for me because I, love to help people. I want to make sure that they're doing everything they need to, but we had to stop, allowing some of that to happen. So that was a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, it's a bit tough when you're a giver in a world full of takers. It's pretty hard to say no, isn't it? I've been there. I get it. They always give you a sub story or a reason. Tell us an important moment in your career where you pretty much covered that, where you changed direction, is when that lady asked you to help her, right? That was pretty much.
That was one of them. And actually, even in the last couple of years, one of the things that happened was I've read books by 𝐊𝐢𝐭𝐬𝐿. Many of your listeners may have heard of him too. And he's written Profit First and, many other books. Well, he wrote a book called Clockwork, and it was preparing your business to be able to operate without you. And one of the things he said was, so you could take a 4-week vacation, and it really wasn't for you to actually be on vacation for 4 weeks and, not worrying about it. It was more getting your business to operate without you in case something happens. And so when I read that, I was like, oh, I need to do this because I'm the typical entrepreneur. I work a lot. Staff comes to me. I'm the bottleneck because all these decisions have to come through me. I was helping with the invoicing, the proposals, all of the things. So I read this book in 2023. Then I joined the accelerator program. And as I was doing it, I thought there are so many more people like me too, who need to learn this. And then they offered a certification in 2024. So I actually became certified in this operational efficiency and teaching people how to be able to step away, whether it's an emergency in your family, whether you just want some downtime or you want to really have an unplugged vacation. And so that was a big pivot I made because I've always done this bookkeeping and payroll and sales tax and all the compliance. So now I say I marry time and financial freedom. Yeah,
but so much better for your health and B, for your bottom line, isn't it? Right.
It definitely is important because we're going to be unhealthy if we're working all the time.
Absolutely.
And not relieving that stress even. And really most of us, when we take a vacation, don't really take vacation. We're just working in a different location, right? We're still checking emails, making phone calls, doing all the things. So I want to help people change that and really be able to take an unplugged vacation, or just, if something comes up and you need to step away, not worry that things are going to fall apart.
Yeah, fair enough. And I add to that, guys. I'm learning myself at 77. I'm still learning that simple is better, right? Less is more. Really, it really is. You got to just work out, what you can get rid of, and and what you do yourself. Tell us, in your opinion, what are the key qualities and skills that have contributed to your amazing success?
Goodness. Well, again, I didn't intend to be a business owner, but I did go to college and I majored in business management. So I did have to take some accounting classes. And so I had that skill already, but things have changed so much in the industry since I was even in college. So having to keep learning what's the new technology even that can help make things easier, and learning other opportunities, like I said, just even taking advantage of becoming certified in this operational efficiency too, and taking advantage of that and being able to meld those two things together to really help the customer, figuring out how to help them be more profitable as well in their business too. It's not just putting the numbers in the system and giving you a financial report, but it's like, how can you use this information to make needed changes in your business to impact your cash flow, to impact your profitability, right? So looking at all of those. So yes, I'd learned some things in school, but it's been more the actual doing the work and learning more about how I can help my customer. And we have people in different industries. So it's not even like in this one area, we know how to do all of these things. We have people who are owning medical facilities, right? We have landscapers, we have home healthcare agencies. There's so many different things that we have had to learn and make sure, we have clients that have their staff in multiple states, and so learning the rules of the different states.
You got so much compliance to worry about as well with government. So
Yes.
they keep their nose and everything. And what's a law in one state's a different law in another state. So you've got to be on top of that. So you're pretty much forced to become a lifelong learner, my friend.
That's right. Exactly.
Tell me, how do you stay motivated as you do and continue to innovate and find new things in your field? What's the secret?
I think my passion is really to help entrepreneurs be successful and, seeing businesses failing because they don't know certain things. And so my goal is really help educate as well. And so that's one reason why I have my podcast. Another thing I didn't ever intend to do is be a podcast host, but someone reached out to me and said the content you have would be fabulous for a podcast. And so now I've been doing that since 2019. And the goal is really give them tips on things related to the finance, but not just in my arena, also talking to people who can help you strategize for your growth, understanding human resources, understanding marketing, right? What do you do to really get out there in the world? Should you be using social media? Are websites still important? All of those things. Because as entrepreneurs, we wear like 20 different hats, right? We're doing the marketing and the human resources and the sales and all of those things. And we need to know what we should be doing in those areas. So that's one of the things that I've been doing too, is really finding out what are those things that people are struggling in and what can I do to bring in experts, whether I'm sharing the expertise on the finance side or I'm bringing in others who can teach. That's my passion, is really help educate them.
I love it. I tell people one of my favorite things, I'm a marketing guy, 50 years worth. And I tell people, think about it this way. You build a house, you've got to have 18 people and a supervisor, the foundation guy, the roofer, the carpenter, the plumber, the electrician, the carpet layer, the gardener, and on it goes. Trust me, there's 18 people involved. And here you are, people, trying to build a business by yourself. It does not make a lot of sense. It's your biggest asset. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Do what you're good at. If you're a baker, bake bread, right? And let someone else count the dough, right? It's really that simple. Right? Stick with what you're good at. No, I use the analogy sometimes too. A plumber, he wakes up in the morning, has breakfast, he drives 1 hour of a job, he spends 6 or 7 hours in the kitchen, he drives back 1 hour. What happened to the marketing? There is none. But he's busy doing what he's good at. So cooperate, guys. Reach out to people like Candy and unburden yourself with a lot of that sort of stuff. And plus, with her checklists and things, she'll give you ideas and things you've never thought of, which can clear the field a bit for you. So there's the opportunity for you. Tell me, Candy, tell us about a recent project or achievement you're particularly proud of, please. Amongst your many.
Goodness, there are so many things. I think, again, really helping our clients through some of the things related to compliance. Like I have a client, he has 7 restaurants, and every couple of years, the state, and he's actually operating in 2 states, but in California, they'll come to him again and they'll want to do an audit. And we go through with them and we have to audit all of the things, pull all the bank statements. And he has many bank accounts per store because he has like credit cards deposit into one, checks and cash go into another, things like that. So he had this audit again where they were saying, oh, your numbers are off. You didn't report, this many millions of dollars. And it was a pretty big number. And they were going to assess a large amount. And so we were able to go back and prove every dollar to them. And they came back with a no change audit again, which you always want no change or in your benefits. So, we were able to go and say, nope, the information you have is incorrect. And so they weren't looking at the other state and that he had, sales in another state. They just got the income tax return from the federal government and said, oops, you didn't report everything, you're going to owe us a lot of money. So I think that client tells me he has peace of mind, right? He's like, every time I call you, I breathe a sigh of relief.
Like a good lawyer.
That to me is.
And I'll bet you the government didn't give you a refund for wasting your time, right? All that.
No, that's the thing. I mean, definitely every time this happens, and I've said to them too, can't you, make a note in his account that he's in multiple states. Obviously he has, sales. we're reporting that he has sales out of state, but they, keep seeing a big number thinking, oh, we're going to get a lot of money from you. But it takes us a lot of time to gather all of that information.
Absolutely.
And of course, they don't reimburse you for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's frustrating. I've been through something similar back in Australia. I left there 13 years ago, and I'm happy to say I'm a free man now, which is lovely. Tell me, what advice would you give a 20-year-old comes to you, your daughter, a niece, a nephew, and they say, oh, I've left school finally, and I'm not sure what I want to do with myself. What would your advice be?
I would say too, what is a passion that you have? Because if you can turn a passion you have into income, whether you're working for a company or you become an entrepreneur, you want to be passionate about what you're doing. So you're happy when the struggles come, because whether you're working for someone else or you're an entrepreneur, there are going to be those times that it's frustrating. You don't necessarily want to go to work that day, but you need to have that passion that's going to carry you forward during those down times to get you back up to the easier and happier times. And so that would be my first thing. And then number two, if you do decide to become an entrepreneur, really look at how you're allocating your money and make sure you are putting money aside for yourself too. A lot of times people start businesses and they're like, well, I'll pay myself later. I just need to get profitable.
No.
You need to really plan from the start and make sure that you can determine how you can do that, because you need to be able to pay yourself from your business.
Yeah, you got to survive. Yeah, got to survive. Tell me, what's the best way for our listeners and people watching this wonderful podcast? What's the best way for you to reach out and have a chat and find out more about your amazing services? What would be the best way to do that?
Our website is 𝐴𝐵&P.com. It's short for Affordable Bookkeeping and Payroll. So if they go there, they can find information how to reach us. But obviously our phone number there too, I can throw that out there, is 310-534-5577. Or send us an email at contact@𝐴𝐵&P.com.
Also, I imagine you're on LinkedIn as well, correct?
Yes.
That I can reach out. And you're happy for people to reach out and have a 10 or 15-minute chat about your services?
Yeah, they can do that. I have, again, because I'm also having staff help in case anything happens and I need to be out of the business. I also have staff that can answer calls and, do those questionnaire, follow-ups with them to find out what are the needs of their business. But yes, we are definitely happy to chat.
Yeah, it's all about questions, guys. You've got to ask the right questions if you want the right answers. Give me a bad cold. Before we wrap it up, tell us a fun fact about yourself, apart from the what are they called? Not muffins, scones. Apart from the scones, tell us a fun fact about yourself that most people do not know.
Fun fact about myself, actually, when I was in high school, my high school had a radio station. It didn't transmit very far, but I was actually a DJ on my high school radio station and had a license from the FCC and everything. So did that for a couple of years. It was really fun. But that was back in the day when you actually had records and turntables and, the whole thing. Now everything's digital.
Yeah, you could have been a famous DJ. All right. Thanks for being on the show, Candy. Any last words for our audience?
I would just say, if you are overwhelmed, whether you're doing, like Jeff said, all the things in your business, if you need help financially, of course, we can help you, but just find someone that can be an assistant to you, whether it's a mentor to guide you, or it's another professional that can help manage some of the parts of your business that are just completely wearing you down. Definitely reach out to someone and get that help.
Yeah, two things I'd add to that, guys. Candy's right. A passion. Candy and I, we haven't got a job. We've got a passion. Otherwise, I wouldn't be up here at 10:30 at night with the flu doing this interview. Excuse me. As you can see, I'm dying. And the other is get a mentor. As Pat said, because you get a mentor and you'll shave years off the journey, years, and possibly tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, why do your own bookkeeping, guys? It's a tedious, crappy job. Give it to someone who loves doing it, right? I love making money. I let other people count it for me. That's my attitude, right? Thanks very much for being on the show, Candy. You've been awesome.
Thank you, Jeff. I really appreciated the time that I had the chance to chat with you.